or guilty, criminal or citizen, that could get them anytime for any crime. Say, look, if it say, sir, did you see such and such and such, do such and such and such? Oh, wait a minute. Only time. The only time.
Only one place in the federal guidelines where you can have 10 machine and get 1 year of community service and 1 year incarcerated.
See what I'm saying? But they talking about, they try to use that I need to order protection, but why it feels like I'm the here then? If I needed protection, you needed protection.
50 Cent has never been one to hold back, and this time he lit up the internet by taking direct shots at T.I. The tension exploded after 50 jumped on Instagram and labeled Tip a Hollywood mutt, sparking a whole new wave of drama. He even went as far as questioning whether the Atlanta icon had drifted too far from his roots. In 50's eyes, T.I. wasn't the same street-bred hustler-turned-rap king who once put the South on his shoulders. Instead, he'd shifted his focus to movie roles, red carpet life, and stand-up comedy. To 50, that evolution wasn't growth. It was a betrayal of hip-hop's core and a sign that Tip had stepped away from the authenticity that built his legacy. Fans instantly divided into two camps. One side claimed 50 was simply calling out a rapper desperate to stay relevant in Hollywood, while the other insisted he was manufacturing drama for clout. But 50 didn't stop at name-calling. He went deeper. He started pulling up old allegations from T.I.'s past, resurfacing long-standing rumors that Tip had cooperated with law enforcement. Those whispers have lingered since the late 2000s, especially after T.I.'s notorious 2007 Crime Stoppers PSA, which critics still use as ammunition today. And 50 kept the pressure on, clowning T.I. nonstop and reposting the Crime Stoppers clip every time the conversation started to die down. He made sure that videos stayed alive. Tip encouraging people to call the police became one of 50's favorite weapons. For T.I., this wasn't just another celebrity jab. It was a shot at his integrity in a culture where loyalty and street credibility mean everything.
So look, even for me personally, my character, they would try to attack my character. They'll say he a rat or he just a snitch.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is ask him who I told him.
Paperwork.
I ain't never told him no in my life.
Yeah.
In the Prem situation, look at this case. It'll tell you who.
Their tension didn't appear out of thin air either. Years ago, 50 and Tip were actually cool. They collaborated, respected each other, and were both expanding their careers beyond rap. But when T.I. caught that massive federal weapons case in 2007, everything started to shift. Facing decades for machine guns and silencers, he shocked everyone when he walked away with what many felt was a surprisingly light sentence: house arrest, community service, and a short stint behind bars. To the streets, and especially to someone like 50, who grew up in an environment where federal cases rarely end softly, something about that outcome didn't sit right. How does a man staring down that kind of time end up walking away almost untouched? The questions wrote themselves. And then came the PSA, the moment that would haunt T.I. for years. Seeing Tip on TV telling the public to report crimes became instant ammunition. Critics labeled him a snitch, and 50 took full advantage.
To it is an awesome song. Listen carefully. Actually, you don't have to even listen that carefully. Yeah. There's a line in there directed at another rapper in the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What line? What rapper is on?
It was a line that has you questioning that you have, is it true you have the best lawyers in the game?
I feel like I do.
Okay.
I agree.
And you asked them a question that if you got caught with 10 weapons in your car, you would have seen 10 years,
But
maybe 9.
What makes you feel like there's a line to a rapper?
On G-Units, you so tough. 50 slid in clever lines hinting that Tip must have cut a deal. He never said T.I.'s name directly, but fans connected the dots effortlessly. The implications stuck to Tip's image like glue. From that point on, every time 50 wanted to clown someone for being soft or cooperating, he dragged that Crime Stoppers video right back into the spotlight. It became a running joke, one T.I. could never fully escape. But Tip wasn't just going to stand there and take the beating. He came back swinging, challenging 50 to a Versus showdown, 20 hits, live, on 50's own birthday. He dared 50 to settle it musically, saying if 50 had all this supposed truth about him, then step into the arena and prove who really held the crown. Of course, 50 being the king of petty refused to play by those rules. Instead of accepting the music battle, he doubled down on the snitching allegations, reposting the PSA clip again and again. Even when Tekashi 6ix9ine had the whole world arguing about informants.
You see a snitch, slap him when you see him, knock his nose off. So the next time I'm out, instead of asking for a picture like a little hoe and come on, knock my mother nose out if you think I'm a snitch. Come on, quit smiling in my face trying to get in my section. Don't play with me. Think you're talking to. Play with your name. King never gave no information to get anybody in no now time with no police. If I am working with the police, it'll be to get him.
50 somehow found a way to rope T.I. back into the discussion, reminding everyone of that video from more than a decade earlier. T.I. fired back too. He called the allegations cute but weak, accusing 50 of using distractions because he didn't want to go catalog for catalog. He even mocked 50's music legacy, saying the Queen's rapper had one hot album and a bunch of mid after it. The disrespect was heavy, and instead of cooling things down, it only escalated the feud. Every interview, podcast, and Instagram post turned the beef into a full-blown spectacle. Fans were glued to it like a rap soap opera, wondering if 50 was revealing something real about T.I.'s past or simply trolling like he always does. Tip eventually addressed everything head-on. After 50 brought the Crime Stoppers video back from the dead yet again, T.I. went live with comedian K-Dub Walker and later sat down on the Big Facts podcast. He made it absolutely clear he never gave law enforcement information on anyone. According to him, the PSA was nothing more than a lawyer-crafted publicity move, part of the strategy to soften his image while he was staring at decades in federal prison. But in hip-hop, perception is king. And once that snitch label attaches itself to your name, it's almost impossible to wash off. 50 knew that, and he weaponized it at every opportunity. He kept telling fans the math didn't add up. Because honestly, most people hit with even one illegal gun catch a decade. So how did Tip manage to skate by with 30-plus weapons tied to his case? Those lingering suspicions were all 50 needed to keep poking the bear. He even tossed out the idea that T.I. lost the role of Davis McClain in Power because of their tension, something Tip quickly denied. But that's the thing about 50 Cent. He knows how to throw shade that sticks whether it's true or not. Still, Tip tried to flip the pressure into promotion. He doubled down on calling for a versus battle, turning every jab into momentum. Every accusation became another reason for 50 to face him musically instead of hiding behind old rumors. Tip kept hammering at 50's catalog, clowning him by saying Get Rich or Die Tryin' was his only real classic and that the rest of his career was mid. And honestly, that's where things got interesting. While 50 kept dragging up Tip's past, T.I. was attacking the present, pointing out that 50's music career had stalled years ago. Instead of looking cornered, Tip went on offense. His message was simple. If you want smoke, let's make it public. Let the fans decide who really has the hits. But 50 wasn't stepping onto that stage. Instead of entertaining a versus, he stuck to one mission, tarnishing Tip's credibility forever. Then came another spark. After the tragic death of Chicago rapper King Von in November 2020, T.I. made a post telling outsiders to stop coming to Atlanta with their problems, basically saying, handle your beefs in your own city. His intentions might have been peaceful, but the timing was awful. Von's family was grieving. Fans felt the comment was cold, almost dismissive. Von's sister, Kayla B., blasted T.I. instantly, accusing him of speaking out of turn. And, of course, 50 jumped on it immediately. He reposted her comments and told Tip to chill, calling him out for throwing unnecessary shots during such a delicate moment. For 50, it was just more proof that T.I. had a habit of talking himself into trouble. To fans, it added another messy chapter. This was no longer just about a legal case from 2007. It was about Tip repeatedly putting himself in questionable situations with his words. But beneath all the chaos, their feud comes down to one thing: legacy. Both men are titans in hip-hop. 50 built an empire through music, business, and television. T.I. carved out his spot as one of the pillars of Southern rap, bringing trap music to the mainstream. So when 50 accuses him of being fake, he's not just throwing insults. He's questioning Tip's entire foundation. And when T.I. fires back about 50's career falling off, he's really saying, "You're not the giant you think you are anymore." It's ego versus ego, two men refusing to blink first. Fans sit split down the middle. Some side with 50, claiming he's only exposing what people have quietly believed about Tip for years. Others argue that 50 is just deflecting from his own flaws by dragging others into the mud. The truth is probably somewhere between the two. But what's clear is that neither man wants peace. Every time the feud cools, one of them kicks the door back open. A resurfaced clip, a viral interview, a petty caption. Something always reignites it. Because in a fast-moving industry, drama keeps your name alive. And both of them know it. What keeps this beef burning is that neither will let the other walk away clean. Whenever T.I. tries to defend himself, 50 twists the knife, usually by reposting that infamous Crime Stoppers PSA. Tip could explain the situation 1,000 times, break down the legal details, even swear he never told on anyone. 50 doesn't argue. He just posts the clip again, letting the image speak for itself. That's his strategy. Plant doubt and let the internet run wild. Meanwhile, T.I. plays defense, insisting he never cooperated with cops, never gave information, never testified. He says the PSA was simply a court-ordered PR move, something his legal team arranged to soften the blow of his case. But in hip-hop, paperwork doesn't matter as much as perception. The culture rarely forgives anything that even smells like snitching. And 50 knows that better than anyone. That's why he doesn't stop. Because the Crime Stoppers clip isn't just a throwback, it's a symbol. A symbol of how quickly your image can flip. How one misstep, one misunderstood moment, can follow you forever. Fans point to it as proof. Critics use it as ammunition. And nearly 2 decades later, it's still the flashpoint that sparks the biggest fire whenever 50 and T.I. clash. Fans also can't ignore the comparison to other rappers who caught major federal charges and ended up doing a decade or more behind bars. When they look at T.I.'s outcome, it almost feels like a disappearing act. 30-plus weapons tied to his case, and he walked out with a sentence lighter than some people get for one firearm. Maybe it was elite lawyers. Maybe it was luck. Or maybe it was something else entirely. But to the streets, the math never added up. But on the flip side, plenty of people argue that 50 shouldn't be the one pointing fingers. They bring up his own questionable past, whispering that Fif isn't as clean as he pretends to be. Some fans even flip the script and call him a mouse, claiming he had dealings behind the scenes the public just never got to see. That's exactly why this feud is so fascinating. Both men are powerful, influential, and far from spotless. Neither one can go too deep on the other without risking something ugly coming back their way. It's a delicate game of chess. One wrong move and the backlash hits both sides. So, where does that leave things? Right in the middle of a battle built as much on perception as on reality. T.I. keeps pushing for a versus, insisting the music should settle everything, while 50 dodges it completely, knowing the drama is more entertaining than the battle itself. Every time the Crime Stoppers clip resurfaces, every time Tip claps back, every time fans debate whether either man is truly solid, the story grows legs all over again. And maybe that's the whole point. In today's culture, beef sells almost as well as hit singles. Keeping this feud alive keeps both names hot. 50 gets to remind everyone he's still the most ruthless instigator hip-hop has ever produced. And Tip gets to show the world he won't fold no matter how many times his past gets dragged across the internet. Whether you believe T.I. broke the code or think he's just the victim of a never-ending smear campaign, one thing is clear. This feud isn't dying anytime soon. It's hip-hop history in real time. Two titans clashing not just for respect, but for how their legacies will read decades from now. And that's what makes this story so raw, so addictive. It's bigger than bars. It's about legacy. So now the question is on you. Is 50 exposing a truth the industry doesn't want to admit? Or is he just keeping an old rumor alive because it brings him clout? Was T.I.'s short sentence a sign of cooperation, or just the work of a top-tier legal team? And if they ever stepped into a versus battle, who walks out the winner? The South's trap king or Queen's coldest bully?